I can report to you this afternoon that the U.S.-China relationship is more stable, and there is certainly better communication between our governments.
Positive signal of stabilizing China-U.S. relations. Both sides believe that this is beneficial and necessary for our two countries to maintain dialogue.
Such statements were made before the Chinese Foreign Ministry announced Xi Jinping's visit to the United States to meet with Joe Biden. Unnamed senior officials told Politico that the heads of states would discuss the situation in the Middle East as well as Russia's war against Ukraine. At the meeting with Xi Jinping, Biden is expected to insist that Beijing use its influence in the direction Washington needs.
Can China put a little bit of pressure behind the scenes on Putin to get him to realize that they're going to need to negotiate a peace that is acceptable to the Ukrainian people? Can China put some pressure on Iran or Hamas to step back and see if we can find some way to restabilize things in the Middle East? So different sides, but this is what high stakes diplomacy is all about. And so the possibilities of failure are high, but if you don't talk, you definitely won't make progress.
Since the start of the Hamas invasion of Israel, Beijing has not condemned the terrorists or taken sides. Actually, China adheres to similar tactics in Russia's war against Ukraine.
The United States is interested in continuing effective economic cooperation with China, but this can only be done on condition. Well, what conditions there will be, this will obviously concern Russia, even more so Iran. Well, how China will react to this is really an open question. It is unlikely that they will make any promises. We will understand this from subsequent actions, subsequent statements by the Chinese leadership at the end of the summit. It will be clear whether such conversations took place and how successful they were on the part of the United States.
Also, despite the ambassador's statements about improving relations between the countries, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said before the meeting at the summit that Chinese firms were supporting the Russian military-industrial complex despite Western sanctions. Yellen threatened with significant consequences.
And I'm certainly not saying with the knowledge of the Chinese government, but some Chinese private firms that may be aiding in the flow of this equipment and material to Russia, as well as some financial institutions that could be involved in facilitating that flow. So I stressed in our conversations that it's critical to us that companies not provide material support for Russia's defense industrial sector, and that we were prepared to put in place further sanctions.
The economies of the United States and China are connected. Moreover, as experts note, Beijing is even dependent on trade with America due to its export orientation. That is why, before discussing geopolitical issues at the APEC summit, states will first discuss the economic component. Reported by Nikita Skoblikov, Pavlo Shtermach, UATV News.